Alright, so I need a moment of realness with y'all. I have a really bad habit of planning out videos, getting everything ready, cutting up the wood, and then that's it, I just stop. Whether it be life gets in the way, or if I'm really being honest, I just get lazy. I kind of just drop it all. I don't get to it when I should. Now, if you don't know the style of woodworking that I do, or at least the majority of what I do, I turn green wood bowls. Now, as I said, it's green wood, so when you cut into green wood, the moment you do that, it starts to dry, and that can lead to cracking, rotting, insects, other issues. And there are preventable measures I could take to alleviate that. For starters, I could just work with the wood when I cut it up. I mean, that seems like the smartest and most obvious. But I don't. Another thing I could do is take something like Anchor Seal, a green wood sealer, seal it up, and that'll buy me some time. And so because of this, that is the problem. And like I said, it leads to cracking, it can lead to rotting, and when I don't take those preventable measures, that happens even faster. And so the problem is, that really leads to a lot of waste, which I don't like, because the wood, I'm just wasting it. It gets no purpose out of it. So there is a reason why I'm bringing all this up. So let me grab the camera and I'll just show you. So I've got a piece of maple here that I cut up months ago, maybe even longer than that. And it was supposed to be used for one of my more important videos for the channel, and that's to turn the largest bowl that I've ever turned. Now I've done that twice, but ironically enough, it never worked out because of cracks or some other issue like that. And this was supposed to be the record breaker for me. Sadly, it won't be that way anymore. The wood is just too far gone. The whole purpose of this video, I've let it sit here for too long, but it's not unusable. This wood is still perfectly fine in the middle, or at least I hope it is, and that's sort of why I'm doing this today. Not to sound melodramatic, but this piece here has sort of been a shadow looming over me. It's right here at the shop. I can see it from the house, and it's just a constant reminder of how much I dropped the ball on this, because if this piece is like any of the rest of the log that I had here, it's a beautiful piece of wood, and I don't want to see it go to waste. So I know it's still usable, and I want to give this piece a purpose. Even though it won't be the largest bulb that I've turned, I know I can do something with it. So let me get the chainsaw, let's get this piece milled up, and let's make something from it, finally. Well, I decided to go on and get the blank rounded out and taken care of off camera. But anyways, this piece is absolutely beautiful. I'm excited about this. There's a lot of spalting in this. However, there is a little bit more cracking and rot than I thought there would be. But again, this whole video is kind of a lesson, a reminder to me. So again, I gotta take responsibility and accept the fact that this may not be as big as I've cut it out here. Now this blank here is roughly around 20 inches in diameter, about 10 inches tall, somewhere around there. So if everything goes to plan, it'll come out to about 19, 18 inches. Not sure the height yet. But if worse comes to worse, then I expect probably around 14 to 16, somewhere around there. So still, it should still be a pretty good bowl. Now the plan for this one is to do a nesting set. Now I've only ever officially have attempted a nesting set one other time, which I did just a few weeks ago with a piece of oak. Did a video for that for social media like TikTok, Instagram. So if you want to go check that out, please do. So this will technically be my second attempt at a nesting set. Now for that piece of oak, I was able to get 5 bowls out of, which I loved. I was really happy with that. And that's what I'm hoping for here the same. But a lot of it's going to come down to just how big the overall size is when I get it shaped. But as far as design goes and shape, I'm going to keep things simple, kind of clean, because there is so much going on in this wood. It's a very beautiful wood, and so I want the focus to really be on that, and also just of course the nesting set. I want all the attention on that and the wood itself. So I'm not going to do anything overly complicated or intricate, just more of a traditional style bowl. So anyways, I'm going to take a quick break real quick, grab some lunch and some water, and then we'll get back out here and we can get this thing turned. So call me crazy, but I decided to use a wormwood screw to mount this on the lathe, and not probably the safest way to go about it. I probably should use a faceplate, but the reason why, and there is a reason, is like I said, I'm wanting to do a nesting set, and I actually did a walnut bowl about this size a few days ago using just the wormwood screw, and it came out just fine. It actually held really well. And when I used the faceplate, I used 2.5-inch kind of lag screws to mount the faceplate, because I've had problems in the past with wood screws and stuff bending when I do something this big, and I just got done with it. The lag screws, they work fantastic, but they do leave really deep holes, and so when I go to nest out the smallest bowl in the front here, you know, I won't be able to turn those away, and I've dealt with that in the past. So I've been experimenting with the wormwood screw, and it seems to be the perfect depth to get a really cute small little bowl from the front. So I'm hoping everything will be well in this one, and it should. As long as I rough out everything first and then just save like the tenon toward the last or any sort of cleanup, that way I can just pull the tailstock away. It should be fine. So yeah, I guess it's time to get the mask on. Let's get this thing shaped and see exactly how bad or how good this wood is. Well, we got the outside taken care of, and I've got to say this is some absolutely beautiful wood. There's so much spalting through this piece and a little bit of figure, but I'm not going to lie about it. The tear out on this is absolutely horrible. Like I said earlier, this piece was a little bit more rotted than I anticipated, but luckily the tear out is fixable. I tried all the shear cuts that I know, sharpened my gouges multiple times, and I just couldn't get rid of it. But I'm gonna try it one more time after I get done talking, and then if worse comes to worse, I'll just use something like CA glue or sanding sealer, just something to stiffen up the grain there, and then I'll go back and clean it up. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So yeah, I'm excited about this piece. I'm excited to get it cored. There are a few cracks up here at the top, but like I said, this is gonna kind of be more of an artistic piece, I suppose. So some of them I'm gonna leave. There are some I'm going to turn away, but anyways. I'm excited to get this thing flipped around. So let me try to do a little bit more cleaning up here. Let's get it flipped around and let's get this thing cored. Well, that ended up going fairly smooth, if I'm being honest. Not that I was really anticipating any big issues, but just with how kind of punky this wood is, I didn't know what to expect. But the only thing is, when I started the coring there, I got a little bit of wobble, but it wasn't anything I was really worried about. It didn't cause any stability issues or any integrity issues, so I just let it be, and yeah, it ended up working out just fine. I just had the core a little bit slower than what I would like, but it is what it is. We got it done. And the inside, now that was a little sketchy that because the wall was a little bit on the thinner side here than what you would normally want, but got the job done. It worked out just fine, and actually was a lot easier or smooth sailing than I thought it would be, so that's always a bonus. But anyways, I'm excited to get this thing dried because I was keeping some water on to try to help alleviate any potential cracking, and it gave me a hint of what the grain and color looks like. I've got to say, I am excited. I'm ready for this thing to dry. So anyways, I've got the other cord part left to do the whole process over again. So I'm going to stop talking, get that on here, and I'll check back in once I'm done with that. So I'm on what I would typically consider the final core. However, I think I can squeeze one more out of it. I mean, if it doesn't work out, then it helped me haul out this bowl, I guess. But if it does, that's gonna be fantastic. It'll be a small one for sure, and I'll have to use the number 2 jaws on here. But why can it hurt? So let's go for it. Well, Well, after 3 days, I was finally able to get everything done. Totally overestimated how much I can actually do while filming, but it is what it is. I had an absolute blast doing this piece, and I don't want to spoil anything just yet, so you're going to have to wait and see if that last bowl was successfully poured or not. So with that said, I'm going to get everything cleaned up here. The shop is an absolute wreck right now, and then I guess I will catch y'all in a few weeks when the bowls are dry and ready to be finished. Well, y'all, it's been a little longer than a few weeks. Turned this bowl back in October, I believe. It is now April, so well, it's supposed to be a few weeks, turned to a few months, but that's okay. We at least know the bowl is definitely dry. And speaking of that, all the bowls did dry successfully, except some of the bark inclusion on these bigger pieces here. Some of the bark did break off, so this morning what I did is go ahead and take some CA glue and just secure some of the remaining bark there. You know, I wanted all the bark to stay on there with this little void here, but it's all right. I think it's still gonna look very pretty. So with that said, this is probably already going to be a longer video, so I'm just going to jump right into things. All we got left to do is sand and turn the tenons off these bowls. Then I can finally reveal the entirety of the nesting set, which I'm really excited to get this thing done. So anyways, guys, I'll grab my mask. Let's get this thing done. Alright, so the inside of the bowl has been sanded. They're ready to be flipped around and finished. But before I do that, I just wanted to show that bowl where the rim had snapped off when I was coring it. I want to show you what happened with it. So right here, I'll show a better view here in a second. But you can see I was able to salvage it, which is fantastic. I'm so glad I did not give up or throw this away, because then it would have thrown off the whole purpose, the reason of the nesting set. It would look kind of funky with the smaller bowl and then the next size up. So yeah, got a little bit more touching up to do on that crack there. But yeah, I'm just glad I was able to salvage that. So anyways, I'm gonna get my jam chuck on here, get the big bowl back on here, and let's get these outsides sanded. Let's get these, let's get the outside sanded. Alright y'all, well that is going to wrap things up here, and sorry for kind of the blunt cutoff there on the finishing process. This video has taken a lot longer than my normal typical video does. The sanding process the last clip you saw me sanding was actually done over 2 months ago, and just about a week ago I was able to finish the rest of the nesting set. That's just kind of how life has been and kind of explains my sporadic uploading these past few weeks. But anyways, I know this video is going to be on the longer side, so I'm going to stop my talking. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate y'all sticking around, and let me know down in the comments what you think of the nesting set, and also if you'd like to see me try this again. Definitely proud of this one. It's motivating me to want to turn them again, but if you'd like to see a video of it done and including the full sanding process, let me know. I really will appreciate the feedback. And if you like these kind of videos, as always, please be sure to subscribe. It really does help out the channel. But enough talking. Thank you guys for watching. It's time to show you all the nesting set.